She used to be timid. Every word felt like a battle. Her accent betrayed her. Her grammar fell apart. Yet today, she speaks English with confidence, with fluency, and with passion. This isn't just Jenny's story. It could just as easily be yours. Allow me to take you through it, the raw and inspiring journey of how Jenny turned her fear into fluency, and how you can do the same. If Jenny's journey moves you, or if you believe in the power of learning and growth, you can show your support by sending a super thanks. It helps me create more lessons and stories that educate, uplift, and empower English learners just like you. Together we grow, one word at a time. Hello, my name is Jenny. I am a student of English literature, and this is my story. I want to share with you a little about my life in London and also about my remarkable teacher. By reading my story, you can practice your English with me. It was a warm summer's day. I was on a train, and two women were sitting opposite me, chatting away in English. I barely understood a thing. I was still a beginner. I didn't know many words. I tried to join in, speaking a few basic phrases. To my delight, they understood me. That small success filled me with happiness. I told them I wanted to learn English. They explained they were from England, returning from a conference. We spoke for about 10 minutes before my stop arrived. They gave me their address and phone number and said I could visit them in England one day. We said goodbye and I left the train. But that short encounter changed everything. From that moment, I worked on my English every single day. I translated texts and watched films. Within 6 months, my English was noticeably better. Still, I wanted more. So, I traveled to London to study. On my first Monday, I joined a school. My teacher was a young woman, gentle, humble, and kind. We introduced ourselves and began the lesson. She asked us some questions to gauge our knowledge and then explained her method. It was different from anything I'd known. We wouldn't be buried in textbooks. Instead, we would learn by using English daily. That simple idea was transformative. I had always disliked textbooks because they confused me. This method gave me confidence. We discussed the true purpose of language: to communicate. Language exists to express thoughts and ideas, not to memorize rules. Of course, vocabulary and grammar matter, but the key is not to study them in isolation, but to practice them in real conversation. This was exactly what we did in class, speaking in pairs, talking about our hobbies, and sharing our stories. It was liberating. One day, a classmate asked, "What's the best way to learn new words?" Our teacher said the most effective method was reading. When we read, we absorb vocabulary twice as fast as those who don't. Just 30 minutes a day is enough. But it must be enjoyable reading. Stories or texts that interest you and suit your level. If a word is unfamiliar, look it up in the dictionary. There's no need to write it down. Your brain will remember it naturally when you see it again. Reading also shows how words fit together, how sentences flow, and how meaning is shaped. That's why reading is such a powerful tool. Later, we discussed student jobs in England. Other classmates suggested visiting a job center, which I did after school. I asked the lady there what jobs were best for students. She offered me 2 options: cleaning or working as a waitress in a cafe. I explained I had no experience, but she assured me my English was good enough for the cafe and training was simple. It would also give me more chances to speak English. I was thrilled. She said I could start on Thursday, and I left happy to know I would soon have a job where I could practice daily. On Wednesday, another student raised an important issue: pronunciation. He was from South Korea and admitted he avoided speaking because he feared his pronunciation was poor. He wanted to improve. Our teacher explained that the problem comes from using the muscles of our mouths as we do in our native language. This makes our English sound different. It isn't usually a big problem. People still understand. But there is a technique to improve. It's called shadowing. Children learn their first language by copying, repeating what they hear until it becomes natural. We can do the same in English. You listen to videos or recordings that are clear and not too fast, and you repeat the sounds as you hear them. We tried it for 3 minutes in class, and it was eye-opening. Our teacher explained shadowing was also useful when preparing for a presentation. Just 10 minutes of shadowing beforehand can make your pronunciation much clearer. That afternoon, I asked the receptionist about sports activities. She told me about the school's table tennis and football teams. I went to football training and met players from Brazil, Japan, Russia, Spain, Argentina, and Italy. It was exciting. I had new friends, a supportive teacher, and tomorrow, my first job. My life in England was beginning beautifully. On Thursday, we welcomed a new student named Elizabeth from Italy. The teacher already knew her. She had joined for 2 weeks the previous summer as a complete beginner. But now, her English was excellent. Fluent, clear, and confident. Everyone was impressed. She explained she had not attended any school in Italy. She had learned at home using the techniques our teacher had taught her: reading, shadowing, and something new to me: thinking aloud. Intrigued, I asked what thinking aloud meant. Our teacher explained, you switch from thinking in your native language to thinking in English, and you say your thoughts out loud. It might feel strange at first, but it's a powerful way to train your brain. Elizabeth described her journey. She began with simple sentences. I can speak English. I want to be better. I must practice every day. At first, she struggled to simplify her thoughts, but over time, it became natural. One day, she met an Australian tourist in Italy. To her surprise, she spoke fluently without translating in her head. The experience encouraged her to keep going, and now she uses the technique daily. Her story inspired me deeply. I decided to adopt the same method. If I wanted to speak fluently, I had to think in English, aloud. Our teacher ended the class with one final piece of advice. Read, listen, think, and speak. Do each of these for 40 minutes every day. You can use stories, recordings, or simple conversations. But remember, practice makes progress. And that is how I turned my fear into fluency.